everybody, and welcome to our latest honest podcast for mortgages. Each month here at Trufe, we'll be talking about the mortgage market with tips and advice on how to make it sure that you get the biggest expense in your life and how to do that in the most proficient way. I'm Phill. I'm the founder and director of Trufe. We're a team of UK-based mortgages with extremely high standards and experience, and we're committed to finding you the right solutions and mortgage for your personal situation. Today, I'm speaking to you live from the Far and Beyond studios, where I'm recording the podcast. They've even given me a present, which is to probably sell me some stuff going forward, some merchandise. I think these are truffles, which is quite a cute idea. These were called trufe, the trufe truffles. I'm delighted today to be welcoming my most experienced advisor, who also happens to be my sister-in-law, the very lovely Sarah Johnston. Sarah, say hello to our audience and explain who the devil you are.
Hi Phill, thanks for having me here today. You do know I really don't like doing these, but I am happy to be here. I'm going to help and talk you through some of our processes on how we help as clients. Today so a little bit about myself. I'm 32. I do sound like I'm 12, but I'm not. I've been here since day dot with Phill. Been a real experience. I do have a son who is football and rugby mad. If I'm not keen mortgages, I am stood at the side of a football pitch, either cheering my son on shouting that he's not doing well enough, or I'm texting one of my clients to say, I'll be back in half an hour, I'll give you a call about your mortgage then. So thanks for having me.
Brilliant. And I've got to say, you are one of the most hardworking people I know, and I can vouch for that because you're never off my bloody phone. Excuse my French. Today, we're going to look at two things in particular. Broadly speaking, we're going to look at the house buying process. And we're also going to talk a bit more detail today about deposits. And we're going to talk and use Sarah's expertise to help us do that. I mentioned last time we were here about the context of the market, and I want to do that again today. Despite the pandemic, and although we're coming out the back end of the coronavirus pandemic, house prices have soared, which for those owning homes and selling homes is a real great thing, because they're making really good profits on the houses and seeing house prices significantly increase at the minute, which is great for them. But there's always a consequence to those things. And that means for people buying houses, particularly first-time buyers, it's harder now more than ever to get on the market. But we're here to try and cut through some of that stuff and try and help you find ways to get yourself on the housing market. A couple of things I want to reference up front that are going on in and around the sector right now. So 95% mortgages are in full swing now. So you will have heard the government announce maybe a month or so ago that they were going to back lenders to be able to allow them to offer really high loan to value mortgages with a minimum deposit of 5%. We haven't seen that certainly since the start of coronavirus. So it's a real welcome back. And they're still in full swing, and pretty much every lender now has got their own version of that offering, which is fantastic. The stamp duty amnesty continues to be on. We're not going to focus on that too much this time because it is almost at the end. It comes to a halt roughly at the end of June. But again, that's another positive thing that has been going on, which has been stimulating the market. So Sarah, let's get into talking to you about the house buying process. What things would you be encouraging? What three things would you want to tell customers, and your advice that you would give them when they're thinking about buying a house?
So I would say first thing is deposit. The more that you have and the more that you save, it's going to be better for you overall. It'll save you more in the long run in terms of interest rates, and your monthly budget it'll be lower because you'll have to put less towards the mortgage. Secondly, I am aware that there is a lot of first-time buyers out there, and you can only afford to save for the 5% deposits, which is a really good thing because we've got more lenders coming back to market now, more competitive for yourself as more lenders are coming back to the market. Secondly is documents. The lender's going to want to see 3-month pay slips. If you're self-employed, 2 years accounts. There is some lenders out there that will take 1 year's account, so always just please explain your circumstances to myself or the broker that you're dealing with. And credit reports. Credit reports is probably one of the most important things because it avoids hiccups that are down the road. And we've got a good presentation of your credit history in front of us, so we know which lenders are going to accept what and what they are and what they're not going to accept. Thirdly is, I would say, finding the right broker, preferably me. Only reason why I say that is brokers save you a lot of time. You don't have to jump from one bank to another. We search the whole of market for you, and we'll try and make it as simply, as humanly as possible for you, as especially for a first-time buyer. If you've not done the process before, you don't know what's going on, you don't know what next stage is, and we're there to guide you and help you to get that, to make sure that we get the keys to your home efficiently and as quickly as humanly possible.
Brilliant and good plug, Sarah. Well done. Checks in the post. So when we've covered off, a bit what you talked about deposit there, and it's important to save as much as you possibly can. But I understand that if the maximum you can save is 5%, and that's the maximum you can save, and there's options out there for you. So I get that. But let's say you've got the deposit, you found your dream home, and they found the brilliant broker called Sarah Johnston. And they're ready to go. What can they expect in terms of the process that they'll go through from that point onwards to the point where they get the keys in the hand?
Yeah, so a good broker is honestly worth its weight in gold. We tend to do a fact find first, and what that is gathering as much information as possible to get you the right lender and to get you the right mortgage that fits your preferences and circumstances. The next stage is something that we'd call a decision in principle, and that's where we'd run it through the lender that we've chosen for you to make sure that you pass all their necessary checks. With this, you can go to the estate agent, and the estate agent will know then you're serious to buy in that property. Once you've got your offer accepted, we take you through the whole process of application. Once we've submitted your application, we always aim to get your offer within 14 working days. And what that means then is once we've got your mortgage offer, it goes through to your solicitors. We have got a team of admin support that will help every single step of the way, and to make sure that the journey to getting you to the keys to your home is going along smoothly. And we'll update you once to twice a week with the good news of what the next stages are and the process that it's at currently.
Thanks for that, Sarah. That's really helpful. Listen, I had a couple of customers talk to me recently about when their brokers are coming at them about protection and insurances, and felt a bit under pressure to buy those things, and it didn't feel necessarily part of the mortgage process. They're trying to buy a house and they're being asked about insurance. Can you tell us a bit around, what's the point of protections and insurances in relation to your home? Why is it important? Why should I care? And ultimately, why should I do it?
Yeah, so I would say I put all the onus on the client on this always. I have a very in-depth conversation about what do you want to happen if the worst was to happen. And the majority of my customers, they'll give me the answer of, I want to leave my family this, or the last thing that I want to be doing if I'm seriously ill is getting up and moving because I can't afford my mortgage when I'm not working. The question is for me is, if you can't afford the insurance, can you really afford this new house? It's kind of a package as opposed to just life insurance. We all know that one person that's had the worst that's happened to them, and how did they survive? You will find that a lot of people more and more these days have got the life insurance that they need. So they know that if the worst was to happen, that they're covered and that they can still stay in the house, the family's protected, the husband's protected. And it's about being real with your clients and talking to your customers as if you want them to have it, and you want them to understand the what this protection covers. And once they see it in that light, they're desperate for it, as opposed to, do I actually have to have it? I wouldn't say it's not law. No, it's not. However, it's the most responsible thing to do as a homeowner, to have protection and to protect your family on the back of it.
That's really powerful, Sarah, actually, thanks. Because when I think about it, if you're asking me, what do I want to happen in the event of me passing away or being so ill I can't work, and therefore my income stops, and my income's important to my family, it's crucial, in fact. The last thing I want is them to have to, sell a house or move. I don't want that to happen. I want them to be comfortable. The last, they've got enough to worry about than anything else. So that's really powerful in terms of how you've presented it. And I suppose what also comes to mind is, you buy a car, the first thing you've got to do is insure it. Well, this is car 50-fold. Why wouldn't you insure it? So yeah, I get that. Thanks, Sarah. Okay, it's question time now. So we've got a couple of questions from some of our customers. The first one is from Matt in Hackney. I used to live near Hackney when I lived in London. I used to live in Dalston. Saw some strange things in Dalston. But anyway, Hackney's very fashionable these days. Matt from Hackney is asking, should he arrange a solicitor and mortgage in principle before putting an offer in, Sarah?
Not essential, no. However, it is a good idea to have how much a solicitor is going to cost in mind, so you can budget. And when you're going back to saving for your deposit, making sure you're saving enough for your solicitors and your fees that you have to pay. We do have a panel of solicitors that we can select for you. However, you don't need a solicitor until you have that offer on the home accepted.
Okay.
But we can guide you through every step of the way with solicitors and all that.
Brilliant. Lucy from York. I used to work in York. It's a lovely part of the world is York. Lucy from York has emailed to say she's about to put in an offer on a flat that she really loves. When will she need to pay the deposit? And when will the mortgage lender release the mortgage funds? What does that process look like?
Yeah, so ideally you need to deposit upfront on the first original call when we speak, ready to go. Two things, the lenders want to know that you're going to have it, and also estate agents are going to know that you've got it. They're going to question where it is if you haven't. Secondly, from a regulation perspective, we need to know where this deposit's come from. And we need to do all the necessary checks in regards to around where this deposit's come from. So ideally, yeah, upfront. And then in regards to the funds being released, that tends to be very back end. They get released on day of completion to the seller who's selling you the property in the first place. That's really it, to be honest.
Brilliant. You made that sound really simple. Okay, Sarah, so we're not far from the end now. So this is the bit where you just tell us what your top tip is. So when you think about all the people out there looking for mortgage tips who are thinking about getting on the ladder, or who are already on the ladder and wanting to move to the next stage of their home buying career, what is your top tip?
Yeah, top tip when buying a home is, I would say, be really transparent. Really transparent and upfront with your mortgage broker. Always use mortgage broker, because you know then that they're searching the whole of market to get you the very best deal for your circumstances. Everybody needs different criteria. You can't go to two different people who have two completely separate criterias. So the mortgage brokers with the experience of using different lenders will know exactly where you are or where you need to be placed in the mortgage lending world. And when I say transparent, don't hold anything back, because it will get found out, whether it's up front or further down the line. And we don't want any process to be delayed because you haven't told us something, or and so on and so on. I would say being transparent is very key to getting a mortgage.
Okay, so don't tell any porkies. Be upfront no matter what your circumstances, so that either it can be ironed out early on, or if it's a deal breaker, you're not wasting your time thinking you got something when you haven't. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Listen, Sarah, at this point, we normally ask for, a good news story. So is there anything you've experienced in the last couple of weeks from a customer perspective where you think that's been a really heartwarming or really interesting or really thought-provoking story that you want to share with us?
Yeah, I could go on all day, if I'm honest. I'm just joking. The other week I received a call from a client. They'd been to another broker, and they was about to lose a property because the other broker basically said that they couldn't afford what they needed to. I made it one of my priorities to try and help them not lose the property, and they had a certain criteria. Basically, they were self-employed contract worker. Some lenders know that they'll take it as employed, some lenders don't. So basically what I did is I just went straight to the lender that I knew that I'd accept them, so we could get the maximum for affordability, so they could get the maximum that they needed for this new property. I submitted the application for the client the next day, and I got the offer within 10 working days, which the client was over the moon for. And then I think that I'm good.
And you got some flowers, didn't you, for that?
Yes.
Not from me, I mean from the customer.
Yes, I did. I would turn my camera around, but I'm not sure how to do that. But yes, they were very lovely, and my partner now thinks that they're from another man. So yeah.
Keep him on his toes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, that's it. Thanks ever so much, Sarah, for taking the time to talk to us today. We really appreciate your experience and your advice. Well done on getting the flowers and impressing customers. Well done on being so hardworking, and well done on not, driving me to distraction too much. Well done for getting dressed today just to be on camera. I know that was a big thing for you. You look particularly clean today, which is unusual for you. Next time, folks, we're going to talk about some more top tips from first-time buyers. We also might talk about Scottish mortgages. I can see Sarah looking at me and thinking, the producer Sarah thinking, we haven't covered for that yet. So, freaking her out. But we'll be covering lots of things. It's been lovely to talk to you. I wish you all the best. And that's it. The end.